Is it all forgotten? Or am I just the one always hoping that it gets remembered? It's a peculiar thing. Celebrating into the peace of our consciousness and awareness is the truth that clings into the memory in which we hold for the peace, kindness, care, compassion that we have for the identity and memories themselves. The mind is always respecting itself and others' minds. But how many times will it be known that the mind has no limits? What are we apologizing to a mind that can always understand and always hold our words in a way that we wouldn't create the peace for understanding it through the longingness of our recognized suffering, isolation, neurological conditions of how we have to always be right, or how we have to always be known. What is being known if there is no knower? But then again, I am just the messenger. Many aspects are the piece in which I have to approach expression of my experiences within pattern of memory and identity that ultimately approaches into the experience of non-experience, non-self, non-observing, all the aspects into the deeper path that the Buddha ventured, understanding the synchronicity into the silence and the connections that we fly and flow. Fly, swim, walk, run, sit, lay, sleep. All concepts of our beingness that is doing things. But is it with it all? Are we really incited into the experience, or is the experience inciting into us? In what avenue or wisdom are we finding in which clarity and awareness do not break intuition and impermanence of our own aging, our humanity. Nothing will ever hold that truth, because the truth is always changing, and it's always known when it's seeked, asked, questioned. I always long into that peace, to find my answers through all my connections into my suffering and clingingness. How can I always be coming back to it all? When all I want is a space that finds me. Whose space is my space? Or is it the ones with great compassion? Is it the ones with great honesty? Is it the one with great joy? Is it the ones with great insight? Why will I ever have to pick? Is it because I have no center? I float into the waves of experience, and it will have to know its perspective once the truth approaches me. Embracing into the peace and mindfulness, to recognize where once we've had these connections and these experiences always lead us to the shape in which our mind, our body, and our souls are connected, synchronized with the universe's messages, meant for us alone to observe and experience, part with the world that we accompany, into the so many aspects of how to become ourselves, and ourselves of others, and the selves that we have to make within the pieces of awareness. Consciousness does not stretch its domain into clarity and wisdom. We are very fortunate to have these experiences and these knowingness, to fully be within the ways of our awareness is to surrender each moment into the silence that consciousness is shared within. It is hearable to hear or to experience and then observe all the senses of knowing through an awareness that we are able to tap fully process into what becomes the knowing in which we are unaware, and where awareness creates memory, but through that memory is clinging, and through awareness is all truth. In what way are we to hold truth and allow understanding when it is all understood in its own way of our own beings, spirit, soul? What makes us know that we should really know? It's all a process of letting go. How beautiful that is. How blessed. Am I the truth that spreads into awareness, into the understanding of others' words and their experiences, or I am the lotus flower that flows into the abyss of emptiness and everythingness, experiencing my own center as the center of the universes, recognizing into my path is one in no path. The path was always the object in which you have become. I have become. I have become that object of the path that has led me here. Who doesn't have the presence of the sun memorized into their mind, body, soul, spirit, consciousness? Who will ever forget becomes their own path, whether that path becomes clinging, beginnings, endings, transformations. We're all set to hear into the faces of the forms that meet us into the dance of the universe. Every dance is the moment within knowing its harmony is how welcoming we see into our hearts and our souls with a shared experience. How lovely. And that love it is so giving. It is so surrendering. It is so vulnerable. It is so kind. We can always remember how vast these becomings are to hold each other's love into these moments. It's remembering where your time came and why your time came. And being so thankful into why it was meant for me. Who can ever forget that smile? Who could ever forget that laugh? Who could ever forget that kindness? Whoever with my knowing is my teacher, to fulfill my space in remembering that I have blessings into these moments, with my moment, your moment, our moment, we moment. how we can always be this moment. Why can't it become itself in the same way that it won't know where I can see it? Has it never known that? Or is knowing that only where it begins? It will always have its place, but how many places can one go knowing that it's been all the same? Who who can't understand why it has to be is why it will be. And that's how it has to be, where it will be, why it won't be. And you don't even know. Confusion is embracing into the exploration of creativity in which my words hold no truth and no awareness, holding every awareness and truth coming back into it. What isn't is what is, and how it will be is how it won't be. Embracing into how many times you can express into truth such as that. It'll be the beginnings of equanimity. Whose equanimity? It will have an equanimity, but following every fleeting impermanence of moments will never be the beginning of our awareness to non-awareness. How many steps can one make knowing from each foot is with each ground? How mindfully present to know where it all begins, for why it all ends, and why it all begins, for where it all ends. my pieces have the essence of who I reflect or mirror with synchronicity and with the grace of becoming. I have no truth. How for we want be to where one is I. Who becomes their own shadow? Who is ever going to become the teacher if the teacher doesn't become the student, in which the paths of our hearts are not full with the sharing and experiencing of our own wisdom, dancing into a play of infinity, the flow in which is the harmony of our own heart, soul, and mind. Who can done this? Doing this is always going to be the way My challenges will always lead me back to my tests, in which I become, through my test, the way that my challenges never began. Who is the one challenging and testing? I am wearing the awareness into my experience that transforms with being in a space that will always remember. Into our words we share, how we share them, is the moment's synchronicity. Who doesn't know what synchronicity is will be the one that experiences the most of our paths that hold our future by revisiting our pasts. The forms are always coming and going. It's being here to open our doors into our hearts. For where my heart may be still, it beats into this moment 100 times more, having to remember that I am here. I am anxious. By holding into my anxious, I am vulnerable. To know that I know nothing. And that I have always been wrong. To surrender into the mistakes we hold is how many times we are given the moment to expand and grow. Who doesn't want that? But why would I want that? It's where I have to be. Who has to be? Who would you have to be? Why would you have to be? Are you now something that you would be? It will all embrace into its path.